First, we're going to start off with a little recap of the Steelers versus Packers game. Smokin Jim, I'm going to come to you first. What were your thoughts, and were you right on your prediction?
Yeah, I'm right. I'm up 3 games on YouTube. I mean, I'm running away with this. But hey, listen, and nothing against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They played a good game against the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay's the better team. I thought that Big Ben, Hall of Fame quarterback, congratulations, 400 uh, yards. I mean, 400 touchdown passes. What a career! But he missed a bunch of open receivers. I think it's starting to bite him in the butt. Missing AB, you got to have a go-to receiver. Him and Antonio Brown might have been the best combination in NFL history. They was sure climbing the. By now they'd have been number one. I think they ended up second or third all-time combination. You got to have a guy that you can just close your eyes and know he can get the football. Juju's an excellent receiver who I'd have got rid of after his rookie year because you can't win a championship with him. No acceleration to the ball, but Ben got to be able to hit receivers that are running wide open. My legendary football coach, the greatest football coach in southwestern Pennsylvania, we're here in Pittsburgh. Pete Annamarino, they got a stadium named after him, and he's the first coach in WPIL history to get in the Hall of Fame. He used to say, "Never overthrow a wide open receiver," and that's what Ben was doing against Green Bay, and it cost him.
All right, Claudio. What were your thoughts on the game, and were you right on your
Things that
prediction?
Well, I was right on my prediction. I think everybody picked the Green Bay Packers over the Steelers, but I think the score really wasn't indicative of the game. I thought it was more of I never thought the Steelers had a shot to win. So even though they won by 10, Green Bay won by 10, I thought it was even more of a I don't want to say a blowout, but it really the Steelers just didn't seem like they were in the game at all. The thing when you miss long passes, deep passes, okay, that's one thing. But when you miss the intermediate, the short passes, that's another. And I think that what they have to do, I'm big into roles, and I'm with Jim as far as you need a number one guy. Claypool has to be number one guy. Juju is a possession receiver and a good one. That's fine. But let's not make him out to be the number one guy who's going to get you deep balls and stuff like that. He's a possession receiver. But I think what the Steelers have to do, what they didn't do enough of was spread the ball around. You have some tight ends. Yeah, I know Ebron has some hand problems dropping balls, but they have to spread. They can't be so predictable. Najee Harris is a stud and a half. I said this before the season even started with you guys that, yeah, he's a stud, but he needs help. He needs an offensive line. Did better, 15 carries, 62 yards, six receptions for about 29, 30 yards. They have to give him the ball more. And again, to repeat, I've said this a lot of times, and Jim gets it. Luther, you're a little too young to remember him, but Lawrence McCutcheon reminds me so much. Najee Harris reminds me so much of Lawrence McCutcheon. I was watching an old video of the Rams, Los Angeles Rams from 1973, and Lawrence McCutcheon wasn't just getting 5-yard out patterns. He was going a little deeper, and I think Najee Harris can definitely do that. As far as the game is concerned, there was no big splash plays. They need to. I never thought that they were in the game at all.
Okay, all right. Understood. Yeah, I had that prediction right. I didn't see them going to Green Bay and beating them. Although they did have a chance. They got a bogus offsides penalty on that blocked field goal. That was clearly the NFL came back. That was clearly a legal play, and that should have been a touchdown. But Ben doesn't look good. He's missing open receivers, like Jim was saying, and we'll see what happens. But Claudio, what do you have for us in your huddle up?
The season's not over. Okay. I'm still not sold on Cincinnati. Baltimore, yes, and Cleveland, yes. But you know what? The season isn't over. What I would do personally is I would challenge each and every player as a coach and say, look, you got to turn it up. We're not forget about the season, forget about our record, forget about every tackle, every pass, every run. We have to start now. That's all about desire right now. How bad do you want it? again, I've said this numerous times about eating the elephant one bite at a time. Nothing matters right now. Baltimore doesn't matter. Cincy, Cleveland, nobody matters but the Denver Broncos. Win that game, which is very winnable. Then go next week, win that game, win, and that's it. It's all mental right now. It's all an attitude. Is basically what they need to do. They need to turn it up, and that's where the coaching staff has to. They have to turn it up as well, and in turn, get the players to play with more passion, more heart, play smarter. Roethlisberger has to, whatever he does video wise. I don't think it's video wise. I don't think it's a mental thing. I just think he has to again turn it up, be sharper. I think they have to mix it up, and I think they have to use all the weapons that they have. They have some good tight ends that you drafted high. Freiermuth, use them. I'm probably the only guy left who thinks that Ebron can make some big plays. Okay, use them. Help the offensive line. Jim, we talked about this last night, Luther, Jim, about being meaner, being tougher. Push the guys off. Turn it up a little. You're a professional football player. You're a big guy. You lift weights. You're 300 some pounds. Be mad. Be tough. This is a big challenge for them. So that's what I would do if I was a coach. Relay that message to the team and go from there.
All right, Smokin Jim, what you got for us?
Hey, Luther. Somebody told me recently. I'm not sure, but one of the best young quarterbacks I ever seen in my lifetime of watching football is Justin Herbert. And they said if the Pittsburgh Steelers didn't trade for Fitzpatrick, they would have been able to draft Justin Herbert. Can you imagine, Luther, if we had Justin Herbert instead of Mika Fitzpatrick? But hey, listen, like I said on Steel City Sports World, this really reminds me of 1968 when the Pittsburgh Steelers tried and tried and tried to lose every single game so that they could draft O.J. Simpson. And they ended up tying, I think, the Philadelphia Eagles. Both teams was trying to lose. They were both trying to get O.J. and they tried to lose, and they ended up tying the game, and they both lost out anyway because he went to Buffalo. But this is absolutely the worst offensive line I've ever seen in my life. Worst coaching staff I ever seen in my life. I'm not knocking the head coach because I don't know what he does, but
you don't know what any of these guys do.
The assistant coaches are horrible. You know what I mean? You got a defensive line coach. The guy that's half white, half black. I don't know what he is, but the defensive line coach gets all kind of credit. And the only guy he ever developed was Hayward, and Hayward was already developed when he had it. They have absolutely people go in, bugs go in, look like he never played football before. So this is the worst coaching staff. There's nobody on this current staff that's going to get a head coaching job. And if you can't run the football, you can't win in this league. And I don't care how great, Lawrence McCutcheon / Najee Harris is. If he don't get a crack, you can't run.
Right.
And Ben's already backstabbing. Again, he's telling him to start running like Bettis. This is a guy that's doing a phenomenal job, but Ben can't help but to stab teammates in the back like he did Antonio Brown. So that's what I see. I think if Cleveland don't need that last game of the season, the Steelers can win 2 games this year.
Wow. All right. Well, I definitely disagree with that, Smokin Jim. Here's my thoughts on this season. As Claudio said, it's not over yet. I think there's still time. These 2 games is a must-win. You get this. I thought Bridgewater wouldn't make it. He has a concussion. They might be able to knock him out again. Denver hasn't been doing a good job of blocking him, and he has some injury problems. Next week we get Seattle with Geno Smith.
Right.
These 2 games, they can even it up and be 3-3. These 2 games are crucial. I think they have a chance to beat Denver at home and definitely Seattle next week. 3-3. Try to start stacking some games, but it's not over yet. It looks bad, but in the NFL, it stands for not for long. So a couple guys could go down, a couple guys come healthy. They've had some bad injury problems. Hopefully Tua will come back soon, and we'll see what happens. It's another injury plague season starting off early, but maybe towards the end these guys will get healthy. But Jim, no, it's not over. I think they can win today. Bridgewater, he's going to be shaky back there. I think we can get some hits on him. We might knock him out and get luck in the game. And then Geno Smith is another quarterback we could have success with. But it's not over. There's still time. All right. So now let's look at the Steelers defense versus the Broncos offense. Starting with you, Smokin Jim. What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I don't care if Joe Cap came down from heaven and played quarterback. Steelers ain't beating Denver. Listen, Mike Munchak is the greatest offensive line coach in the game. I think Denver's ranked 1 or 2 in the league running the football. I know I took heat from you last year, Lou. What's Munchak doing in Denver? I told you it's going to take him about a year to get them guys going.
It was more than a
Munchak's
year.
legend. Well, yeah, but they got a two-headed monster. The Pittsburgh Steelers are soft in the middle. Everybody's talking about that. Who knows where Bush and Sherbert is half the time? Devin Bush ought to put 21 on his back because he makes business decisions like Deion Sanders. Everybody's talking about Bush as being a bust, except for Luther Dupree. Hey, listen, they're going to run listen, the Steelers' only chance to win this football game if they can control Denver running game. If Denver chews up the clock like I believe they and run it down the Pittsburgh Steelers' throat, they have no chance of winning. But I do agree, Luther, that they could get Seattle next week.
All right, Claudio, what are your thoughts? What do you think as we look at this?
Pretty much on the same page as Jim. I mean, you have to stop Denver's running game. Melvin Gordon, Javonte Williams, they're a two-headed monster. And Williams to me looks like he's ready for a breakout game. I don't know if it's going to be today. And Bridgewater has been playing, he's a veteran. He's a smart guy. He doesn't seems to be making a lot of mistakes. He does not seem to make a lot of mistakes this year. But again, overall, Denver's record, I mean, who they played? We talk about boxing all the time, all three of us, obviously. And check out our show, The Boxing Authorities, on ViV Television Network. But who do you go up against? Who have you played? Okay, so let's not get too carried away with Denver's record. But again, they do have two good backs. Their receivers, they spread the ball around pretty good. Pittsburgh's going to have – it's not going to be an easy game for them. I think they're going to – what does Bill Belichick always say? Do your job. They're going to have to do their job. I'm sorry?
Right. I'm agreeing.
Yeah, they're gonna have to do their job. And I don't see a whole lot of, Tomlin came up with the term splash plays. I don't see a lot of splash plays, a lot of turnovers. They have to maybe take some chances.
All right. Listen, man, Broncos offense, the first 3 games, they played a couple teams that weren't that great. But Baltimore put it on them, knocked out Teddy Bridgewater. All right, looks like Claudio left us. Hopefully he'll come back. But I believe definitely the Steelers can definitely compete with them. I think we'll be all right. I think we'll be able to slow down the running game. Noah Fant, one of the best tight ends in the league right now. Yeah. Bridgewater finds him. Meek is going to have to be on it. And Joe Schobert, I think he gets an interception today. He's also going to be key in terms of coverage. All right, there's Claudio is back. All right, we got a Steeler Wife 360 Nation. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thanks for tuning in. Good morning. All right. But let's keep it going as we wrap up. We got Steelers O versus the Broncos defense. Claudio, what are your thoughts?
Again, Denver's defense is nice, but look who they've played. I think I'm still not going to give up on the Steelers' offense. The offensive line, not good. So what you have to do is you have to make an adjustment to not maybe have, I know this is a crazy comment, but maybe not rely on that offense so much. Again, with the quick passes, but Roethlisberger has to be accurate. It's one thing not to be accurate with the deep passes. It's another thing not to be accurate with the short, quick passes. But they're going to have to. And I would use Najee Harris more than just maybe 5, as I said, more than 5-yard patterns. Send him a little deeper, which I know you need time to do that. But use your tight ends. Use every weapon that you have. I'd like to see the box score filled up for the Steelers. Maybe they won't have a guy who has 10 catches today. But maybe they can have 5, 6, 4, 5, 4. Spread the ball around. And then keep Denver as opposed to them just blitzing all the time, putting all kind of pressure on Roethlisberger. Again, spread the ball around, maybe do some crazy plays. I've always said this. If we're going to fight, and we'll mention Fury and Wilder, if we're going to fight them, we're not going to beat them straight up. So we have to get a stick, get some dirt, get some salt. We have to do something to even up the line. We have to try to beat them some way. Maybe do a reverse. Maybe do something crazy to get this offense going and to put Denver on their heels so they don't pin their ears back and know exactly what the Steelers are going to do. In other words, don't be so predictable. Do something crazy. Do something crazy. And I think they have the weapons to do that.
All right. Smokin Jim.
Yeah, I agree with you and Claudio Luther that, really who has Denver played? And at 4 o'clock this afternoon, they'll be still saying, who has Denver played? Hey, listen. Hey, listen. Luther, you mentioned Noah Fant, who we really wanted out of Iowa to come here for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Why is it Mika Fitzpatrick? We drafted the midget, the cover tight ends, Devin Bush. Now all of a sudden it's on the free safety. Shazier cover tight ends. Devin Bush is a TikTok NFL bust. But hey, listen, the Pittsburgh Steelers got one main weapon, Najee Harris, running till the wheels come off. I would not save, like Claudio said, give him the ball, run him. This is a tough kid. Figure out a way. Listen, I think Ben plays well today. He's at home. There's no cheeseheads in the crowd. It's not going to be loud. I think Ben gets it together today, and I think he has a good game. I think he'll pass for about 180, 195 yards.
That's a good game, Jill.
It's a good game.
He's gonna set the world on fire.
Listen, I think, I almost forgot Vaughn Miller was still in the league. He's back
Yeah,
this year. He hasn't been making a lot of plays. I think it's time for our offense to get a little more. They're averaging 16 points, 14 points a game. I think, like you said, Najee Harris, the running game did look a little better last week. I think they can continue to improve upon that. But Ben has to hit the open receivers. There'll be no James Washington. They had to bring up Kobe White from the practice squad. I think Juju can have a solid game. He was open. He used some. They put him on some Chase Claypool's routes, and he got open. I'd like to see more of that. I know what Jim says. You would have traded Juju, but he can still get open. Yes, he's tough, but you got to change his route tree up. He can get down the field. He can get open. I need to see more of Juju doing more than just 5-yard crossing patterns. But Ben looks worse and worse. Hopefully he has it together and he can hit these open receivers because our guys can get open. Earlier in the year they had a couple games where they weren't, but they had open receivers last week and Ben was just off. 4th and 5, they're still throwing 2-yard swing patterns. I'm not understanding. I think they open it up a little more. Hopefully that'll get them going. We do have a couple comments as well. Frank Jackson, where are the trick plays at?
Right, exactly.
Basic
I'm
offense.
with him.
All right. Yeah, I definitely feel you. Again, thanks, Frank, for always tuning in, man, and commenting. But, yeah, I don't like the offense. This is not Matt Canada's offense. Ben, again, throwing him under the bus, saying he's not allowed to make audibles. That doesn't even sound right. Hall of Fame quarterback, played for 17 years, and all of a sudden now you're not allowed to make audibles. I don't like it. Ben is back to throwing dirt, complaining about the offense, and taking shots at the OC again. The only OC he didn't complain about was Bruce Arians. There's no way he's not able to make audibles. Listen, man, I'm disappointed. All right, let's go sit or start as we wrap up. Smokin Jim, Big Ben, sit or start?
You got to start him.
Start him. Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, how about you, Claudio?
Sit.
I'm definitely going with you. Sit until I see a little more, until he's throwing passes and not holding his arm every time he misses. I'm sitting him. I'm not going to play him. How about Najee Harris? Claudia, what do you do with him?
gotta play him. You gotta play him. You hand him the ball, receiving the ball, have him throw the ball, have him play special teams. You got to use him. You got to use him. He's a stud and a half.
Definitely agree. Use him like you guys were saying. Run him to the ground. Do what you can. Get him the ball. He can do more than just a swing pass. You can run him on wheel routes, but can Ben hit him on wheel routes? But he's a special guy. He set a record for most receptions his second game. He has, in terms of missed tackles, he's made more people miss. 27. Yeah. He's leading the league. I saw that stat this week. I was impressed. Smokin Jim, do you play sit or start Najee Harris against Denver?
Well, I tell you what, I'm very impressed because in 17 games, you only need about a little over 50 yards and 3.5 yards a carry to get 1,000 yards. He's on pace, Lou. But no, I'm not sitting him at all. I'm playing him.
All right. Any receivers for the Steelers? Juju, Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson. Will you start
you
any of them? I'm asking you. You're still
you
on the clock, me? Jim. Yes, Jim.
Okay. Yeah, I would play the greatest tight end I ever seen in my life. The body control that this guy has and the hands that he has, I've never seen that before on any tight end on any level. So that would be my go-to guy. Ben can still hit the tight end, and this guy is better than the great Heath Miller.
Well, every year you seem to say that. You said that about Chase Claypool, the greatest receiver in Steelers history.
And I've been right.
I haven't seen you say that this year.
How's that TJ Watt? How's that TJ Watt?
No. You said Chase. We're talking Chase Claypool. How's that going? You still saying he's the greatest receiver?
And he scored 4 touchdowns in one game last year. The first one since Roy Jefferson.
I didn't hear you say it this year. That's all I'm saying, Jim. I didn't know.
No, he's still the greatest tight end. He's still the greatest tight end in Steeler history. I mean, receiver in Steeler history. Just because the offense can't get him the ball ain't my fault.
Well, I haven't heard you say it. All right, all right.
If we had Justin Herbert instead of Fitzpatrick, he would get the ball.
And Jim did call that. Jim did say he did not. Everybody loved that trade, and to be honest with you, I did too because the window was closing. I said you got to go for it, and they did.
Great move. That was a great move. You got a great safety who made tremendous plays that year for us. Splash.
Hey Luther. Hey Luther. Hey Luther. Hey Luther.
Hey Jim.
I don't like black guys with white names. Get rid of him.
Oh God. Claudio, tell me this. Do you start or sit any receiver for the Steelers?
I sit Juju, start Claypool, and Benny Snell. No, I'm kidding. Is he still on the team?
Right.
You know what? I think a big day for the tight ends. Definitely start Freiermuth. I think he's going to score some touchdowns. I think that whenever you're not hitting that deep pass, again, middle, short, tight ends have to be important. And I'm still not done with Ebron, although I don't know if I'd start him today.
You're going to hold on to that, huh? You're going to ride that. You're going to fall on that sword, huh, Claudio?
I know. Listen,
I would play Deontay Johnson. Ben throws him about 10 passes a game. Out of the 3 games he played, he scored in 2 of them. He definitely has Ben's eye. So I would play Deontay Johnson. I think they can make some way. Lamar Jackson had a great comeback against, Denver. He put up some numbers. He was able to pass on them. Hopefully Ben can get back. I think he'll throw for about 220 yards. And I think Deontay Johnson could have a touchdown and maybe about 85 yards receiving. Last thing as we wrap up predictions. Claudia, what's your prediction for the game?
I'm going to still say the Steelers have a little air left in them. I'm saying Pittsburgh, and I'm not impressed with Denver's schedule and their record and all that. Tough team, nice defense. I'm not saying that, but I think they're beatable today. I got Pittsburgh 23, Denver 19.
Okay. Smokin Jim, what's your prediction?
Being up 3 games on you two, it's an insurmountable lead. Listen, the Pittsburgh Steelers can't beat the Orange Crush. Mike Munchak is going. He's in his wheelhouse. He's going to expose the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Denver wins easy by 2 touchdowns.
Oh man. Okay. All right. Let's see. Frank Jackson says Steelers 30-10. Wow. They put up 30. That's an offensive explosion. All right. Terry, thanks for jumping in. He says
What's up, Terry?
21-14. Denver. Okay. All right.
Oh,
And
he's got Denver.
he's got Denver. I got the Steelers 20-17. I think they'll be able to put 20 points and hold Bridgewater and those guys to 17. I'm not sure Bridgewater is going to make it. TJ Watt didn't look good last week. He didn't have that explosion. I think another week of work, he'll be ready. And I think we can get a couple sacks on Bridgewater. I don't look for him to finish this game, and I think we'll see luck beforehand, and we can pretty much handle it. I got 2017. Once again, I want to thank Frank and Terry, Steelers Yam or Steelers Nation for jumping in here, for Smokin Jim, Claudio, Luther. Good luck on the game, Claudio.
Thank you.
Hopefully, I'll have my voice back. I lost it over Claudio's house, but it was all worth it. Thanks again for hosting that, man. It was a great party, and I just wish I didn't lose so much. But that's how the things go. I'll talk to you guys. Peace. Check us out on the website.